Ndibanyina will always say, no, onye buzo. Onye man, yeah, onye mweba neje is always the first person leading. Because you are leading the people coming behind you. If a leader misleads or goes into a wrong direction, the whole body sink into wrong direction. If a leader leads and leads straight, the group he leads moves on straight and successfully. I have been able to, many a times I go on a motorway, I drive on a motorway. In UK here, they call it motorway. Just all these highways. Many of these highways are very long distance road. You are going on several number of miles on a straight road. Many a times that road is always difficult before you get like in a roundabout where you'll be able to turn around. That means you on a straight journey, anytime you miss the road, many a times it's always very difficult to recover, to redirect, to redivert, and be on the right track. So, 2021, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was abducted, all in essence, to sink IPOB. Because it is assumed that when a leader is taken away, the sheep are left without a shepherd. But thankfully, in the case of IPOB, it is not the case. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu laid a great structure. Even before his abduction, several years before his abduction. That is why many people, when they tell you that IPOB is an institution, I can see my Mama Magnus. Thank you for joining me. Hygienist Madoka, Nordic Nord, Michael Son. Michael Son, this is your name. Welcome you. I welcome you all to this broadcast. What was I saying? So, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was taken in order to sink IPOB, and little did they know. That is why, after 5 years, the steady progress, the steady existence of IPOB remains a concern to Nigerian government. That is why they have tried all manner of things. They have tried abductions and disappearances of our members. They have even gone into assassination of members. They have gone into infiltration, using infiltrators to destroy, to damage. They have even paid members, some members, to come and cause confusion. Some of the things we are witnessing today, you'll be surprised the hand of Nigerian government might even be involved in all these things. So a lot of things Nigerian government has done in order to destabilize IPOB, which the highest they did was the abduction of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader, because the aim is to redirect the movement. The aim is to divert. Remember, I was using an illustration of somebody on a motor road, on a straight road journey. You are going straight. Anytime you miss your way on a straight road, it's always difficult to recover. Many people will recover. Some people will get lost. In that motorway, a lot of people has got lost. That was a day, that was in the night I was driving. On a motor road here, I got lost. In fact, I have to call police. Please, I don't know where I am. Because it's a very long, straight road. And I wasn't using sat-nav that very day. So, my title said, IPOB, we are not left with leaders. With the structure mighty structure Mazi Nnamdi Kanu put in place. He already set out structure that anybody that is a member of IPOB, you cannot claim you don't know who is leading. At the emergence of Ekberima, when Ekberima claimed that he is now the leader, at the time he was answering he answered different names. The spokesperson, prime minister, a lot of names he answered in order to make himself the leader. But many people that understood the structure of IPOB resisted him. He was only able to while away with the ones that do not understand the line, the family line, because IPOB, they call us IPOB one family. Indeed, we are family. Because in every family, everybody understands and knows where he or she belongs to. In a family, there's always the head. After the head, I'm onye. You know, maybe after the mom, and just the rest. That is the way IPOB is structured. Structured as an organization. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was taken, they did not know IPOB will survive the next 6 months. And that is why immediately they used infiltrator to confuse. A lot of confusion were in vogue those times. At a time, there were people that emerged and said that they are the DOE, Directorate of Emissary. They are the one leading. Ekberima came and said he is the one leading, including Madam Oyibo, including Azoka. All of them, all leading. Just all efforts to distract the followers, the people following the leader. It is not an unclear thing that as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was taken away, that the next person we were looking onto is the Directorate of State, led by Mazi Chike Doziem, whom has been the one steering the direction or steering the ship of IPOB until this day. In that Directorate of State, we have then in different hierarchical order. You have after Mazi Doziem, you have the deputy who spoke with us today, whom we are going to be a kind of analyzing, going into his broadcast yesterday. We have other continental reps. We have national coordinators, the regional, the unit coordinators, and all the rest. In Biafra land, I think what do they call them? The state coordinators are applicable. These are the family line of IPOB, the structure of IPOB. Now, as we have been, I said that we have never been without leaders. As a great movement and an organization that has a vision, our primary vision is the restoration of Biafra. And it doesn't end there. Because restoration of Biafra, as we are walking towards that path, there are other ways that we have continued to clear. Because anytime you wake up to find yourself in Biafra nation, without clearing the ways, it's going to be like a man that was just onye buru tonye in a town. You have migrated to a nation that you are not prepared with. You are not prepared for. You are not there with your luggages. You don't have your clothing with you. You don't have your food with you. That is why if you watch what the things IPOB has continued to put in place, we have our agricultural project to make sure that when we get there, we will not lack food. That when we get there, we will not depend on Nde Fulani for starting food. For Efi Hausa, for sugarcane on the Hausa, for carrot, a lot of things all they produce, which with our agricultural project, we have been able to encourage our people, encouraging even our farmers, even with seedlings, with the material things, in order to encourage them to start to produce those kind of food which we have been depending on the North for. We have other ways IPOB has continued to work. We have continued even to call our people, come back home, develop our place. Because all along we've been developing, we are the one on Igbo, develop Lagos. We developed even northern states. IPOB, we don't want to get, when we get to that Biafra nation, maybe we will not find amusement park. Maybe we will not find leisure places. Maybe we will not find good libraries. Maybe we will not find good zoo. I mean, yeah, where you keep animals. So that is why IPOB has continued to encourage development in our place. Calling our people, bring down your businesses, site your businesses back home. Develop, build hotels. Invest in animal husbandry. Invest in mechanized agriculture. These are all things we have continued to do in preparation to our destination. Now, looking at what I want to talk about, the direction. Because any group that lacks direction can get easily misled. You can't be misled. That is why immediately at the abduction of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the first test on IPOB is the introduction of all manners of infiltrators telling you, I am the head, directorate of misery, Ekberima, all sorts, telling everybody is telling you they are the head in order to get you distracted. Because once you start to depend on the enemy for directives, you already ruined. You already misled. So in IPOB, every year, we have the head of Directorate of State, Mazi, always opening the year with the national broadcast every 1st January. I remember in this year's national broadcast of Mazi, he mentioned a lot of things. He talked about this agriculture, but in a wider scope, in a mechanized way, in a bigger way. He talked about education. He talked about teaching our people our languages. A lot of things he touched. So last night, we got more other directive from the leadership because we have leaders. We are not left with the people that we are looking onto, with the people directing, with the people leading. We are not like a human figure without head. Oh, now, when you are looking at me now, you can see my head. If I appear on this camera without a head, I'm a ghost. And I saw, people will not look at because you can't understand. It's not a human being. So in IPOB, we have head and we have followers. And that makes us a complete organization, a full organization. So last night, despite the goings that has been going on, because anytime at every point, there's always directives. If you are in abroad and you are going on the road, that is the essence of signs. In our drive on the road, in a developed world, and you will see several and so many signs on the road. There are signs that will tell you, do not turn right, don't turn left, go straight. This is roundabout. Reduce your speed, increase your speed. These are directives so that you don't miss your way, so you don't go hayway. So despite that we now have a kind of people that want to derail what we are doing, a kind of people not us. Oh, a lot of people that are being engineered to demonize what we are doing. A lot of people that are being even paid, because some of these guys you are looking at, they are paid to discourage members. They are paid to deceive members. Some people will say, in fact, in Ike Agugu, that they don't even understand what is going on. You can only say that when you don't have directive. Some directives came yesterday explaining what is going on, but in a kind of coded words. And that is what me and you are going to be examining this evening. And we'll be taking it turn by turn. I'm going to be taking it line by line. So last night, we have one of the leaders, the deputy head of Directorate of State, Mazi Tony Nzurumike, that came out yesterday to speak to us. Even before him, last Saturday, we had Mazi Moro. Mazi Moro, as we all know, is the Middle East rep, and he doubles as well as the head of our security. He has been the one always speaking to us. He's been the one always guiding and directing. So when you remember what he said last Saturday, even the deputy HOD that came out last night confirmed that everything Mazi Moro said in the last Saturday broadcast is everything they all agreed to. So this is the leadership of IPOB speaking, either as in Mazi Moro or as in the deputy HOD that spoke yesterday, or as in HOD. So these are a group of men that are leaders, leading, directing, guiding us. We are not left without leaders. We have directors. We have people telling you this is the time where we are. We have got to this junction. It's time to turn to the left. It's time to turn to the right. It's time to move forward. Explaining some of a kind of confusion people seems to be in, especially in a time like this, where we have people that are making where we have several voices or noisy voices, because I call it noise. Because when you have an enemy in the house speaking in contradiction, they are the voice of noise. When you open your phone, many a times you hear different voices of noise. You have the one speaking, you have the one writing. These are all noises. But because we have the leaders, the people that we are looking onto, that's why we cannot be misled. Anytime you begin to look in a different direction, I have always used driving as an example. When you are driving on a motorway, no matter your speed, whether you are slow or you are on a high speed, once you lose concentration, you can hit yourself somewhere. Accidents can happen. You can miss your way. This is what distractions can do anytime you begin to look in another direction. So yesterday, we were a kind of giving some direction on top of the one Mazi Moro did last Saturday. So let's take it line by line. It's a very short broadcast, but is well packed. Packed with information. Packed with what we should be aware currently. Packed with where we are going and what we are doing. So let's take it line by line.
Believe is a natural phenomenon.
I don't know what. Okay.
Believe is a natural phenomenon.
Why is he doing this? Okay, let me start it again.
Was rendered passive.
No. Okay, let me go to BTV straight and get this, because I don't really understand why this is happening. Let me go to BTV straight. Okay.
Truth and accountability.
Okay, now. Okay.
All fiscal all the fiscal corruption, as I've earlier on mentioned or aforementioned.
Okay, let me start it from the beginning.
Was rendered passive. And detachment became the experience of the time prior to 2022. The DOS assigned with operations, home administrations, was obstructed in so many ways in carrying out its core duties of oversight. It is...
Oh my God. Sorry, it's advert.
Self-evident that based on enormous achievements by these very DOS in just the past 4 to 5 years, its function as an institution has yielded fruits and must be protected in that very regard in the interest of our populace.
Okay, now, this is the first point I got here. That in the last 5 years, IPOB has been led, has been operated as an institution. Remember, what is an institution? Institution is like a laid in an organization where there is like a laid out structure. Different departments. You know, when you come to that organization, there are managers, directors, unit heads, different departments. What is the essence of institution? In the institution, you have diverse manpower. You have diverse professionals, because it is not only one voice being heard. You have different men from different fields and walks of life managing each department and managing whatever unit or departments they are the head. And above them, there are other departments above them. Below them, there are things, you know, when things are working accordingly. Any big organization where when you comes in, you have only the director. One director can never manage a big company, because it is not an assignment one person can do. Under the director, you have the managers, you have different heads for efficiency. Without institutionalized a kind of setup, things cannot go well, especially when it's only one person speaking. Any big organization that one person runs, that organization is bound to be shipwrecked. There are people that need to bring one advice or the other. People need to bring in their talents, their skills, because nobody holds all skills or talents alone. No matter how good you are, there are areas you are not good at. There are certain things you don't know. That is why in an institutionalized organization, you have integrity. Why integrity? Because there are like every other person is open. There is transparency. It's not a kind of setup where one person misbehave and do whatever he or she wants and get away with it. Because there are people that you are accountable to. In an institution, there is an accountability. In an institution, there is transparency. In an institution, there is no abuse of power. Because people at times power can get into their heads and they begin to abuse and misuse power. But in an institution, It's not like that. So it's telling us here that in the last 5 years, IPOB has indeed been run like an institution and not a one-man organization. Let's continue to listen.
Upholding the values and responsibilities of an institution like the DOS must be made sacrosanct, just in the interest of Biafrans. Because saving the soul of indigenous people of Biafra can be achieved without the pertinent checks and balances. It is a position we have taken. It is a positive unequivocation, as I will put it, to state that all fiscal corruption, as I've earlier on mentioned or aforementioned, anywhere in IPOB is damnable and frankly must be damned. It does not matter who the perpetrators are. It does not matter where they have done or committed whatever they've committed. Whoever commits any act of ill discipline or corruption of any sort, especially fiscal corruption, that practice is damnable and must be damned. On this corruption crisis from the past, that the IPOB Germany, headed by the national coordinator in the person of Mazi is championing as we speak the efforts of recovery.
Okay, this is a very important area now, because this has formed part of, if not the major thing media warriors has been talking about now recently, because it's no more a news that IPOB funds were misused. It is no more a news that IPOB funds were squandered and embezzled by the family of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. When I mean the family, I mean the siblings, which Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is aware. I'm sorry to say he's part of it. Misused by Nnamdi. So, he talked about corruption. Because if you listen, in the past some weeks now, when we started to discuss and talk about these things, I have listened to people. So many people are very frustrated, including me. When you listen and hear how your hard-earned money was misused, embezzled, squandered, there is no way that you cannot be angry. The only people that are not angry about this is only the people that have not been contributing. Because each time you dip your hand into your pocket to bring out penny to donate, even some of us that do donate to charity, even in the wider scope, when you are making any contribution, you have in mind that you want to help. You want to help so people. The same way in IPOB. When every month you dip your hand to pay your monthly due, there are so many things in your mind, so many services of IPOB that you want to protect, that you want to maintain. You want to the people say our men that are watching over our city. It is our heart desire to make sure that they are okay. It is our heart desire to make sure that they are protected. Now, that they have it, because you can't just send someone on a war front without equipping him or her. We want to make sure that these guys are covered, that the assignment we handed over to them, that they have everything it takes to carry out that assignment. We don't want to hear now, they are hungry, they haven't had breakfast. We don't want to hear that. It is one of the driving force that has made people that have been supporting to continue. We have our fallen heroes, comrades, that we lost on this journey. We want to make sure that their families are protected. We want to make sure that their children do not lack school fees. We want to make sure that their wives or even their husbands are maintained. That responsibility, those our comrades left in their families, we want to cover that responsibility, that gap. These are some of the driving forces that makes some of us that are still contributing. These are the things that drives us to be paying our dues or to be making donations or contributions. Now, when you begin to hear that all the contributions you made in the past, that one useless person somewhere misused it, mismanaged it, because you that made those contributions, it's not like you have it all. It's not like you have the money is too much, but because you have an interest to protect and you decided to do it, and it's appearing that people are misusing your hard-earned money. It breaks heart. At a time, it weighed me down. It pained me. So it's one of the things the Deputy HOD addressed yesterday. Corruption. This is one of the things we saw in Nigeria and said, oh hell, we don't want to belong there. We want a better place. A nation void of corruption. A nation void of politicians embezzling the money that are mapped out for city development, for tiring of roads. Oh, these are the things that are found in Nigeria. Anytime they award road building, common road, Nigeria up to today is still struggling to repair roads. Nigeria is still struggling to build new schools, to repair dilapidated public places. Because of what? There are embezzlers, corrupt individuals. In the form for Joagba. So when we look in our direction, in an organization that wants to build a better society, that wants to build something better than Nigeria, that claim that we are whiter than white, golder than gold. Now, in the midst of all this whiter than white and golder than gold, you are still seeing a deep signs of embezzlement, mismanagement, squandering. It's heart-wrenching on our wobi. So it's one of the things the Deputy HOD addressed. Because the financial setup of IPOB, this is one of the things Mwa be donating for years. Because immediately they say that Madam Oyibo carried $700 and something thousand. I was asking myself, how can one woman be able to carry such money, organizational money? That means the setup is so porous. I have used my town here, or as always an example. In my town, before, one person cannot withdraw money. One person cannot withdraw from the bank certain amounts of money. There are securities in place for every organization's money. So, but how Madam Oyibo was able to carry such an amount of IPOB's money is something we don't know. So, in that regard, there is no security over people's money, over public fund. It's one of the loopholes. And that loophole had cost us a lot. Because that is a very huge amount of money that should have been invested into a big project, especially in the area of security of our land. That kind of money, when you convert it to Naira, you know what it is. It will take us a long way. It will buy ihe cheku obodo for us. It will help us to bring in, to gather more laborers in that field. But that service was cut off as a result of corruption, as a result of porous, fraudulent financial setup. So if this DOS can look into that place, it can look in that direction, address it, that means, yes, we have hope. It's not only giving the hope of tomorrow, it is giving hope to the contributors. Because at a time, some people were saying, Nahagaha with Ezekwego. If that is the case, you know, it didn't discourage some of the people. But now this issue has been addressed. It has been addressed. Because Esigoma and Animi, even before this broadcast, I have investigated. I hope this thing will not repeat itself again. I was told how financial thing has been restructured, that it is unlikely it will happen again. Do we talk about the way the family of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu mismanaged our money? It's one of the things the DOS is addressing, the deputy HOD. He called it corruption, and that is what it is. There were corruption that were going on in IPOB, and that corruption, the family of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu were corrupt. They mismanaged IPOB money. That thing alone discouraged me. That now I made one statement. As Mazi Nnamdi Kanu put, and if it's going to be as usual, count me out. Because I suffer and I'm a to get money. And I'm a Zushi now. In my work here, you have to work, especially in the Ocha UK. Any money they pay you, they make sure you work for it. That is how it is here. Anytime they are giving you 7-hour shift to do, they have already calculated what and what you are going to do. You will see yourself at the end of that 7 hours. By the time you are wrapping up that very work, that is exactly the 7 hours. So when you know that shiggy think over here, you must work for it. You must work for it. IPOB members, we looked onto the DOS for a change, for restructuring of our finance. It was porous. I don't want to use the word fraudulent. At times, when I look at it somehow, I call it all the key and the fraud name. I don't want to use that. That was before. I don't want to use that word. So, if the DOS are ready to fight corruption, and I know this is one of the area that they are disobeying Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu brought commandments, 13-point commandment. I have looked at those 13 points. I discussed it sometime before. In that 13 points, more than 8 is on finance. Is on finance. And all that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was calling for is like going back to Egypt. Because the DOS came and saw the corruption. They saw the loopholes. They saw embezzlements. They saw squandering, misuse of public funds, of ego organization. They immediately restructured. That is what led to the Ipob Keda Hawanya, Nnayanya. Because Nnayanya teamed up with the Kanus to misuse IPOB funds. One memo from the head of Directorate of State brought to an end the era of Nnayanya. Akabuoda one. That move gave people like me a peace. It gave us encouragement. It motivated us. It even showed to us that we can build a better nation. It gave us motivation that we can shun corruption, no matter whoever that is involved. Because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been the one always on the picture from Nnenayanya, telling you, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, Kanunta will carry his own and tell you, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said. Even Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on his own brought out 13 commandments, DOS, you must obey. I am happy they stood their ground to say no. Because it is a commandment of corruption. It is a commandment that aids and abets embezzlement, squandering of public fund. It is a challenge which this leadership, the DOS leadership, took, no matter the cost. It cost them the relationship with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It cost them everywhere, because they stood their ground that the services of this great movement has to be protected. It's not about individual. It's not about family. It's not even about them. They restructured Ipob finance. It doesn't benefit them because they are not paid. And they had that ego. Because the way the structure has been set is open. There are none oversight. Every organization finance, there's always different oversight. When you are at home, anybody that's logging into that account, it reports to the others that this so person just logged in. Then you check it. I hope we not have tamper with our money. There are several eyes watching our money. Sorry, I'm laughing. But there are now eyes. Unlike before. Aneme, asegi, do not double into money. Chike, do not double. Before, this deputy HOD that spoke yesterday used to have oversight. But he sees movements of money. Because that was when he was the German national coordinator. They are the people that opened the German account, which Nnenayanya destroyed. He has an oversight. He was seeing the movement of money. But Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ordered, before Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was abducted, he ordered that the HOD, the deputy HOD eyes, get blind the eye and see what pay from the account to go for the account. That oversight was taken out. He didn't know what is going on in the account. This is a porous she. So these are the things the DOS are now telling us. They are kind of giving us assurance that the public finance, public sweating, sweating mother will be protected. Your fund, egogi, will be protected, will be managed well. In my last broadcast, I talk about some years ago, Labour Party here, during the time of this guy, Tony Blair, they lost election, and that took them another 8 years to recover. Why? Because they were busy issuing money to jobless people, unemployed, people that don't want to work, people that are able to work but they refuse to work. Britain, UK, we are busy dishing out huge amounts of money as handouts to unemployed, to people that refuse to work. So majority of population work, and the work is not easy. They decided, if this government is so callous not to protect public fund. They have to go. Just because of that, Labour lost that election. And it took them another either 12 years or 8 years to be able to come back to power. As a result of not being able to manage public resources. Last time I said that the leadership, the DOS, that responsibility of protection of lives, people's lives, comrades' lives, members' lives, is embedded on them. And not only lives, protection of our resources. They have to manage our resources. They have to protect our resources, especially where in our midst there are Ndiori. Family siblings of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Ndiori ego. If you don't watch over our money, he will Nnamdi Kanu zuanyoshi. If you watch their lifestyle, these guys, the kind of cars they drive, me and you don't drive them. The way they live big, we don't live big like that. But these guys are the ones cruising on our finance, on our money. And that is why we expected the DOS to step up, no matter what it takes them. And that is why many of us has vowed that we will stand with them. Because Oku Nnamdi Kanu is nothing else but Oku ego. The issue between Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and this DOS leadership has nothing to do with, if not money, ego. Because the direction of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu sibukolo ego ni ne bunyewe nnenayanya. Nnenayanya shows accountability. Nnenayanya shows transparency. Every indication shows that Nnenayanya is pushing a whole lot of money to Kanunta. The latest news now, because they are in the court, when you listen to the deputy HOD, he commended the efforts of German family, IPOB Germany. They are in the court now with Nnenayanya. Because millions of money, IPOB money, in an account Nnenayanya manages, the money we are moved every day, and they move thousands. Igama how many days it took them to move hundreds of thousands out from an account. At a time, the German company that do accounting for IPOB raised an alarm. They withdrew. They told them they cannot continue with IPOB because we will put them in trouble. Because of the way Nnenayanya we are moving money. The way she was pushing money to Kanunta. Without description. Because IPOB is a charity, is registered as charity organization. Each time you move money, it must have a description. What the money is. Where the money is going. But in this case, there's nothing like that. All these things are corruption. The DOS fault. And that is why we'll keep on to stand with them. Because they are fighting with the people with family and personal interest. People that want to turn the fortune of an organization into their family fortune, into their personal fortune. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu wrote somewhere and said that he is the one that raised all these millions. Therefore, that he is entitled to it. But it's not true. Yes, you might be a motivator that encourages people to contribute. But those people contributing, there is something you told them in mind why such money were needed. You told them it is for maintenance of ESN. You told them it is for provision of our looking after of our families in need. The people we are looking after their families. Going for comrades in diverse prisons. These are the things people had in mind for contributing. They did not contribute for you, that it is for you. If anybody has a personal gift to give to you, it's quite good and encouraging. It's for you. But the one people calls ESN support is for ESN. The one people calls monthly due is for maintenance of different services. For IPOB, it is not you. It doesn't belong to you. It's not you. It's not you. Neither is it your family. But you guys turned the whole thing to your own thing and squandered it as your own thing. Immediately the abduction of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu everywhere now bahala. That was when Mbahane moved Haliego up and down. Kanunta working with the former Italian national that was moving money 1,000 every day. All these things are loopholes. Loopholes that should have been sealed. That should have been uncovered. But before money na Google. Why? Because the financial department of IPOB were set up in exclusion of the control of the leadership. That is why, if the Mazi wants to ask Nnenaya how much has come in, Nnenaya, stop there. Stop. You are not meant to know. My department is different. I'm only accountable to Nnenaya. When Mazi Edoziem had meeting with the US women, he couldn't even stand. He can't question Madam Oyibo with the money she carried. Because Madam Oyibo, we are created differently. Because when you have a central leadership, whatever department, whatever structure that you want to put in place must have to be must have to be under the control of the central leadership. That is why when you hear that IPOB has been restructured and now operates like an institution, whoever that handles money cannot tell Mazi Edoziem, my department is different from yours. No. The whole department comes under the central leadership. You are under accountability for transparency, for checks and balances, for oversight. For oversight. DOS, you guys are better off remaining and being on the path of the truth. I know it has cost you guys a lot. Some of the people nebu had their own. Chinasa wanketa, Chinasa wuhu, Omo Edoziem nkewa, onye nkewa, different names. All as a result of men that stood their ground to do the right thing, to protect the services of IPOB, to protect the interest of the people, to provide trust, confidence on the people making those contributions. Because now, I want to know that motivation, because it's not easy. It will leak each other. Man, understand your ground. Where reject Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, you remain the leader, but you see, no, this area we are not doing it. Nnenaya has destroyed the funds under her. We are not ready to entrust IPOB funds again to her. One of the DOS members that went to see Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, these are the things Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has continued to insist, that all money must go to Nnenaya. It is not only the DOS saying no to that. All of us, IPOB global family, are saying no. No to non-accountability. No to corruption, financial embezzlement. We na know ya. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We are saying no. Shishi, we are not giving to Nena Yanya. We are even asking her. And that is why we are commending IPOB Germany. We need to recover our money. This is the kind of nation we want to build. We want to hold people accountable to whatever crime they commit. We are not building a country where one person can stand as Idi Amin of Biafra land under your whatever thing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu says go. What God cannot do does not exist. No. No. This is beyond an individual, beyond personality. It will command trust to what we are doing. If we are not ready to prove to the Biafrans that as small as an organization as we are, that we cannot condone corruption, that we cannot cover individuals that engaged in diverse corruption, then we are not ready. But this DOS, you guys have taken the lead, and we want you to maintain it. Onya Zura Anyohi must have to vomit it. Let's continue to listen.
Ensuring, of course, that this doesn't happen again.
It doesn't.
Never again. Never again.
Never again. Says Zukwana Anyohi again. Ndebe Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ezusikwana Anyohi. Ha ezusikwana Anyohi. Never again. It's not a family business. Can you be here? Including Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This is money belonging to an organization. You are under salary. Fat salary for that matter. That should be enough for you. You cannot live that your salary be na amanyaka nego IPOB. In a way, you have made yourself on your account. But that's the basic truth. In no, it's in South Africa. Nulum $30,000. US, Madam Oyibo, send the alum 20,000. Then Nayanya, send 40,000. Hey! Na Biafra wanye chori inwete. Like this? No. For personal use. No. It's corruption. So, never again. We are agreeing with DOS. Never again. Our funds must be protected. The services must be protected. If services are not I will have a problem in the protection of our services. Our downfall. It's our downfall. Let's continue.
Should we allow this very soul of this very struggle to experience corruption of any sort? Of course, Germany isn't the only place where looting, I said, has been established, but in places like United States chapter, South Africa, and more.
It's not me that many of you will not agree. Many of you will not agree. Agugolu na ebe ezugasara anyoshi. Ezuru anyoshi na US. Ezuru anye na South Africa. Ezuru anye na Germany. A lot of other places. Because the way esi ebe ahe nye order ka na enye. Send me $30,000. What is it for? No description. Nothing to do with Biafra struggle. Nothing to do with IPOB activities. Nwanne oshi. Unu zuru anyị akpatakpa oshi. Unu zuru anyị nnukwute ori. Unu zuru anyị ezigbote ori. Ndebe Kanu. Never again.
Should not, this way, this should not.
What happened?
Surely you have to understand that there is no one to be asked further questions if the current principal officers at the US are out of the way. That is what we must all try to comprehend. But we must continue. We must continue because thousands have paid heavily amongst the dead and also those who died needlessly because the DOS was sidelined in delicate decision-making process.
Did you hear it? Mazi, did I hear this? He said that the DOS were sidelined in some of these decisions. Do you know when Madam Oyibo carried that money? There's one of our comrades in US that was, he always called me that time. He wasn't happy at all. At the time, he said he volunteered himself to take Madam Oyibo to court to make sure he vomits that money. He was very, very sad about it. But he needed documents, evidences that says Madam Oyibo has so money for IPOB. The DOS could not provide anything. Because they were sidelined. They were not involved. Ekpuchiri ha aka n'anya, ewere akwa kechie ha anya, sunu na arụ na ọrụ, do not double into money. Ona enekwene left or right. Madam Oyibo nọ na left. Nna ya anya nọ na right. With fortunes of IPOB as a central leadership. Na aga no ka zombie. Don't look right, don't look left. They had nothing in them to support legal push in US for our money. They don't even know how much were there. They have no documents to provide. They were sidelined in so many decisions. I have talked about decision making in a great movement. It's not what one person does. If a big organization is set up as an institution, it should be run like an institution. Mano onye nwere mmụọ wayo, mind of oshi. Ema ndị ori na-eme ha choice set up an organization. Ewele those ones ama dem ma a channel also no ngwagawa this side, manu na ya gana una ama na nke na-eme the other side. You still assumed that you were in an institution, but indeed it is not an institution. It is not run. It is not set like an institution. Kedu ka esi ekwie asana aka de ka aka eso biblical ihe na onu de ka onu Jacob. Onu de ka nke Jacob mana aka de ka nke eso. The setup of the an institution, mana the operation of it is personal. Has nothing to do. It's an institution. That's what it is. They were sidelined. So onye na-atakwa ha ụta si jewe bute onye nwa Madam Oyibo elichakwo n'ego. Ndị have no power. Ha ma mgbe ebunyere ego. Hamambasia, you are Nnamdi. Nda we are sidelined. These guys, we are blinded. Ekbuchiri hanya. Na gan. Forward the march. Sorry, I'm laughing. But but that is the truth. That is the truth. Just na gan. Na ganu nihu. Na ganu nihu. Hata gawanu nihu ka anyị na-aga na-aga ụna amakwana nke na-eme n'aka nri n'aka ekpe. They were sidelined. They were sidelined from decision making because one of these men now they involved na IPOB financial setup. Ụmụnwaanyị agaghị ezumu anyị ohi like this. A ga-enwe onye gasị mba. This is ego organization. One person cannot be the only signatory. What of on which? What if the person goes to sleep and didn't wake up? Don't you know that the money belongs to the family? Anything can happen to anybody. In fact, my town, obele obodo anyị, enwere obele ego anyị nwere. Enwere onye enyere ya loan. Before you get loan, even though we are all the same time, you get with a collateral. That's your house in London here. You will sign paper that you are depositing it as a collateral before you just few thousands of pounds. Mane ebu legal organization buhari omwine. Because you want to swear them. You want to make them happy. So that when you ask them, Madam Oyibo, send 20,000. She will not, of course, she will not ask you, what are you using it for? What is it for? Or send there. Can I have that woman on South Africa? Send 30,000. Oh, Nena, are you there? 40,000. Nobody asks, what is it for? Because it has become a business. A business between Mazi and Nnamdi Kanu. Nobody questions. Nobody asks. The people that should have asked has been sidelined. If we train her, forward the march. Na ganu nihu kani naga. Oh, corruption. They were sidelined. Somebody said, please, I need my money back. No, now say, go give my money. If you should not give it when I went. You think I'm happy as well? All of us are we are very, very disappointed. We are very disappointed. And at least we know, we are happy the DOS has stepped up. And we support them to stand their ground. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu na commandment it makes no sense. We are not here to massage his interest. Here, amen. Ogi can 12-hour shift. Are you the one people are working for? Yeah, corruption in Nigeria. What makes us different from Nigeria? What makes us different then from Nigerian politicians? And you know that and the pastors who need the members. But you're not different from those pastors. You're not different from those politicians. As corrupt as they are, you are the same. Not different. Let's continue to listen.
Some death could surely have been avoided. And that we believe is gospel. If these very DOS had been allowed to function the way it's designed from heaven,
I'm so thankful with the technology
This
we
is
have now because
advert.
it's truly allowed me to create these worlds. Art has a unique ability to bring people together. The world I designed isn't just mine, but it's ours now.
Sorry, it's
Surely
advert.
slaves would have been sold, would have been saved, and surely a majority of what has taken place so far would have taken place.
Had it been this DOS we are left to operate the way it is supposed to, certain things that took place wouldn't have taken place. That is why I say that na aka de ka aka iso, manonu de kanke Jacob. IPOB structured as an institution, but runs like a private business. Because had it been the leadership are involved in taking decisions about money, there's no way Omuwanya Gejibule ga like this. I'm not sure this can be done. But things went wrong because the right thing we are not done. The right thing we are not done.
Today, having recorded several real successes, based on the few years past in various arms of policies and goals backed by the democratic processes and approaches and Republican values added, the DOS can proclaim a discharge of positive energy and increasing optimism going forward in making sure that Biafra comes even much faster than anticipated. Fellow Biafrans, I delight in telling you that regardless of all the challenges, we must collectively forge ahead because this DOS is getting it right now, is getting it right this time around.
Okay.
We must forge ahead regardless of all lies and blackmail in the public domain. No amount of calculus, of intimidation can stop us because we are peacefully fighting a just cause.
Okay.
All syndrome of narcissism, tyranny shall not be tolerated because Biafra is bigger than any one of us.
Okay. All form of narcissism. Imana this Mazana Sunukuto Ibo. He speaks good grammar. He speaks good English. But what he's saying, narcissist, and the narcissist. Some words quote, only me speaks. Only me will be heard. And he says it's all narcissist and tyrannical behavior will no longer be contained. Because this narcissist and the tyrannical whatsoever, oh hanaba neji hanab, tyranno supreme head. Once he says it, now so it go be. Once he tells you push 20,000, now so it go be. Once he commands you move money to Nenayanya, now so it go be. Narcissist. Only you, also get my ear. Only you sabi. Only you go speak. Only you go act. No more. Idi Aminism. If there's any word like Idi Aminism has been cut off. Supremacy has been cut off. He said, nobody is that so bigger than the other. Oh, Nundame. Oh, dictatorship leader. Democracy. Nigeria used to be the detractors. That's why the world hates any military coup, any national may overthrow democratic elected government. The US will come after you because they abhor dictatorship. Just na anyị enwetebekwa nation, mana enwego dictatorship already. Only me will speak. Only me will hear. Only me will see money. Only me will assign. Only you. So sogi, so ofunye, so sogi. Ihe niile. A way dala the struggle, we bunyanyi na pit of mistake. From one mistake to another. Because you wouldn't listen to anybody. You wouldn't take advice from anybody. It's only you speaking. Only you acting. Who is that will speak when I have spoken? Says the Lord Almighty. Era of narcissism. Era of tyrannicism is over. Anya court only off. DOS. I want to say on our court. Anywa, we have been. Anyi jimma now. Anya ulugo butchers. Dine one makachukwu ito obu adana. Big cutlass can you jikita na take us all this supremacy. Bring us into the bin of mistakes. Jide go mo mother la chania. We live your big lives. End of it. It's not only the DOS now. Most of us. It shall not give me with the one. When you listen to me, some of the media warriors, both the writers, the procurator, don't you know, boys and girls are very sad. It was we when I want now. Stammerers, and then I saw so. Is now beginning to speak. Redombo, ndana hekwo come on, let it be that he's speaking. Guys are not happy. You think we are stopping tomorrow? We're not gonna stop, oh. We will not stop till ndị kponyela aka enwe n'ofe ewepụ aka ha. Don't think somebody is sending us. I said it. It could be spirits of Biafra na push hari onye ọwụna. Because somebody like me, agwada akman. There is no agwu. Ndị be anyị agwada akman ndị be anyị, and ọda akpakwa ndị be dem. So I'm not under the influence of agwu. I'm being driven by the spirit of Biafra. Not only me. Most of the media warriors say, these are men and women that were caged. You dare not speak. You dare not talk about the supreme leader. But it's like, we are being delivered. And from bondage. The light has come. The glory of God has risen upon us. That's why clarity has taken place. People have seen better. People have known better. Not only knowing better, speaking better, speaking it out, spelling it out. Somebody said, na alcohol. Somebody somewhere said that I'm always under the influence of alcohol. I'm not an alcohol person. That I drink alcohol on occasion. This is water. I don't take alcohol and I don't smoke. So whatever thing I am telling you is what is coming out from me. It's real me. Nobody has ever called me to tell me, okay, do this. Nobody. This is me talking. Likewise others. We are not being moved. It's like actually I don't know how God just decided to be doing things this way. Only He knows. Only He knows. Or they know when He have one ikuku. Only wanna just wake up from sleep and slumber. Mandena so nana ikuku. Nene na broadcast. I'm not a broadcaster. I'm broadcasting, talking before the camera. I haven't been this. I don't know how all these things are happening. That is why I am thinking it is Shukwa Kika Biama at work. Let's continue to listen to Mazi Surumike.
Biafra is bigger than any one of us. Going forward in Biafra land, we must establish peace. We must establish stability. We must make sure that reckless policies that would needlessly lead to the bloodshed of innocent Biafrans be avoided at all costs.
This thing now, I talked about it in my last broadcast. Ayokwalamondi DOS, Wasiono, Bikono. You guys have that responsibility. You minimize risk. Risk. You know, when you comes to diaspora, in developed world, they don't play with risk assessment. Anything that jeopardizes you as an individual, as a worker, anything that puts the people you are rendering services, be it if you are a doctor or a nurse, be it your patient, be it the visitors, be it your work colleague, they don't play with risk. In everything, first you do is you assess the risk, because we will always find risk everywhere. But what is right and what needs to be done is to minimize the risk. I called on the DOS in my last program, Bikun, to minimize their risk on our comrades back home. To minimize their maijenga. To minimize their unwanted death, unnecessary death. Anything that puts our people at risk, to cut wire off. That is when I talked about Ndena Klamo, Umuaka Banye, Potabene Eme protest, release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. 2 years or 3 years ago now, but more than 50 of them went down. And up to today, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has not yet been released. Anything risky, I am happy the Deputy HOD mentioned it. Cut it down. We want our people to be safeguarded. We want them protected. Ozi owona age dunye ha si me risk assessment. Si minimize their risk. Oh mmadụ nwa ogodo egwu na-ata. Enwerekwa ihe dịka release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu na Biafra land. Ọkwa ụmụ mmadụ. How many heads has gone? Including Mande Nwụrụ na Faruku. Beha. 28 men. N'isi ofu onye. Nothing like releasing of protests back home. Ndị ọwụ na-achọkwara ịkpọ protest ha mewere onwe ha. Not IPOB protests in Biafra land. Ma ụmụ akwụkwọ anyị si protect her. Anything so risky, cut down on the risk. You guys have that responsibility to protect lives. Yes, we know in a struggle like this, aganada, but let's reduce, let's use our senses, let's not get into senseless move, senseless risk. Say, cut wire off. I am happy you guys have this as your priority. It means integrity. And not ending up MLM protest. Protest for me, the Biafra land. Can those now? Then you are safe. protection of lives includes your responsibility, the DOS. So I'm happy now this thing as one of your a priority to safeguard our people, to protect our people. Because on them omaka, it will call down on hard situations families are going through back home. If there is any protest to be done, it has to be in diaspora, not back home. Anything risk, say court to down on risk. Or you hear good managers. Ndingwele integrity to protect the lives of people. Selfless people. And not center-centered. Self-centered people. It's only you. Me, mu, I, me, my, me. No. It's for all of us. It's for all of us. Protection of life. Minimization of risk. Very vital.
We won't allow a freedom fighting model that only ends up destroying our own lives and properties. That's not what we're here for. We're here to build a modern nation. We're here to build a nation that functions. We're here to build institutions and structures that everybody can be able to partake in. We're here to make sure that everybody has a stake in what we're doing. That is not just for one person, but that for all of us, that every Dick and Harry, everybody far and beyond and close shall have opportunity to partake in this very national cake, which is freedom.
Yeah.
And prosperity.
Aqua nation onye ọwụna ya partake. Ọkwa ha nation nke ndị be Kanu sụsọ ha nwe national cake. Kanu nto onye oshi. Na Emmanuel eburu ha na Nnamdi, the first thing ha mere makasewa aka ebe niile ego dị nnọọ ka ya sị nnọọ ịmago n'ihe a some families na-eme back home. Ịma enwe ndị ọ gawa onye nwe ha na ndị be ha ebi na-ejewe everywhere ebe ego onye ha dị in order to grab money, carry money. That is exactly what Kanu and the siblings did. As if know their own business, their own enterprise. That's why we are not going to live. You think this thing is ending today? It's not going to end though. It's not going to end. And you can't drag on until you put the guy, because I'm sure that money is a lot. When you reach that money is not yet finished. It's money that runs in millions. Anywhere they kept it, they should go and bring it. They should go and bring it out.
Let's remind ourselves, this very dire situation, that the model of our freedom agitation revolves on civil resistance with the core idea of using public...
Advert. It's advert.
Pressure to challenge oppressors of our besieged land of Biafra. Our goal, therefore, is gaining our total freedom from the carcasses of the British experiment called Nigeria. As a result, ours, of course, is to apply moral and strategic non-violence approach with mass participation and broad coalitions of goodwill and similar mindsets. This means indulging and investing in the conscience of the citizenry across the board. As you may recently have witnessed in IPOB Spain, IPOB Ireland, IPOB Russia, IPOB United Kingdom, and so many more, Italy, of course, and many more. We have demonstrated, made necessary outreach, including necessary lobbying efforts, wherever deemed necessary. This campaign, as we say, must continue.
Yeah. So that's IPOB for you. When Umaka Nepuru now, they will always say, you IPOB maybe go. IPOB is in disarray. Which IPOB are you talking about? When there are events, you see IPOB. Just 2 weeks ago, you saw IPOB Ireland. This next day, you saw IPOB UK. And I saw pictures of IPOB Russia. You know, that is IPOB for you. Anybody thinking that is going to affect the struggle, you are dreaming. There are people we are under oath to restore Biafra. The foundation we are standing on is not the kind of foundation we can abandon. These are foundations that consist of blood of innocent people. Foundation that consists lost. People have lost a lot of things, including properties. People have lost spouses, children, in the course of this Biafra restoration. This is not something we can abandon. Come rain, come sunshine, we can debate, we can argue, but to abandon this thing is not going to happen. You get to understand how formidable IPOB is if event takes place. So when they are telling you IPOB has done, don't mind them. Don't mind them. You see IPOB at first when the need arises. Mazi Nzurumike mentioned diplomatic engagements as well. Because yes, we are doing the ones we can. But how I know na agakwije, which I am, some diplomatic moves are being taken place. So diplomatic, these guys are not the people who Haga Russia. They will take picture. Like the way Kanu, they want to take picture in order to present, to tell you Avid is on the move. Now it's time to contribute money. This is not what these guys stand for. These guys are selfless. They are not working to be seen. They are not working to be recognized. They are not working to be cheered, to be clapped for. These are selfless men. And they are not working each way where ego. And you know how Galuno Biafra. Biafra is here. Biafra is here. Biafra is here. Time to donate. They are not Ekberima. You remember how Ekberima every Saturday was his ESN fundraiser? War jet is here. Warship. Olandiana. Hey, nah. Yesterday, I just remembered yesterday. I was thinking, where did they park that warship? Where is that warship now? Called fighter jet. They can't park it there. Hey, these are the kind of things that pleases our people. Oh, you in the banana chino. And this guy said, the advertisers and na advertise onwe ha. The people that are advertising themselves or advertising their work is we that are even talking about them at times, occasionally, not always. So when he tells you they are engaging diplomatically, believe it, they are. I'm aware some. Let's continue.
Finding some of these host countries, wherever we are all over the globe and domicile, that this very quest for freedom remains non-negotiable, no matter the stratagem deployed by the common enemies. At this very juncture, let me make it clear that not even the attacks on the leadership, the DOS, on the officers working assiduously shall survive our resolve.
Have they had it? Not all this your attack. Chinasa wanketa, Chinasa wo DOS, underground workers. When can I have this guy? So Hana call her another natch. I will be laughing. You know. Let me get to what this guy wrote. These guys can be very funny. Let me look for what one of them wrote. Hey, which one would I use to look for it? Let me read for you what somebody wrote. You know, these guys are they're dreaming. They thought IPOB is a walkover. They thought this leadership is a walkover. Let me bring it. Anumano nke Austria. Say, we said it earlier, but many of you gangsters underestimate our resolve. We are going to cripple a Doziem administration until MAK is being recognized. So he said that they are going to cripple DOS. Which DOS are they going to cripple? The person telling you that is going to cripple Akaya Metusele. The two hands, he wears clothes. When he wears clothes and you know he always wear big clothes. They said his ukuye, the waist, is like monkey one. You know, imakuku monkey nade. You know belt okay. You know when men wear trousers, they will use belts. They say this guy, his own belt, the belt go round like 3 times before he can hook it, explaining how tiny this guy is. So when you look at somebody that says he's going to cripple DOS, I don't know who among this DOS can this guy cripple. Is he Isaiah? Isaiah would think back. Isaiah will go back. Isaiah will use just one hand like this, hijack Gaia up. I don't know who among the DOS he can even stand. And this is a guy that has glaucoma. He cannot even see without glasses. Because before you cripple somebody, at least you have to be seeing properly. To be able to, no. If you want to grab the person on the neck, you'll be able to see the neck and grab. But you cannot see. Except with your glasses. Your legs, they can get grasshopper. Somebody told me that the 2 legs is like a grasshopper one. UGG grasshopper. So when he says he's going to cripple, I don't know, unless whether he means in saga. I don't know. But what can their saga now do? Unless if he's talking out of, if he's not physical. Because if he's physical, he cannot stand any of these DOS members. Or does he talk in terms of intellectual? None of them can interpret what Mazi Nzurumike said yesterday. Would they not hear a man's English? This is a man that doesn't live in English-speaking country. He lives in Germany. But when you listen to him, you can tell that this man is well educated. Okwamana has struggle upon na UK in English country. But I still struggle to pronounce some of the words he used here. These are the men you are talking that you are going to cripple. In terms of what? What does he have? What do they have to be able to cripple this DOS? Is it analysis these guys can make? The one they call Achalug. After the broadcast yesterday, because Onyeka ha will blow foul brain. She can never interpret or analyze one single line. I think she wanted to come and analyze the broadcast yesterday, but the English she carried here. You have to first of all understand the English this man is speaking. Because this is a well-learned man. Don't you hear the way he speaks? Achalugo, in Hatamono Ibo, Mazi Zurumi Keso. Talk of standing to analyze. You can't analyze anything. The only thing she could say, it's just only 26 minutes broadcast. Because she can't analyze one single line. This is a learned man talking here. These are the leaders we have in this movement. Ichano ando web. Ndị na-ele ose na ụtaba. Ko kera aha ndị ochie agasị. Ko kera aha ndị ala agasị enwere everywhere. So tell me where you can stand this man. Kichana ha na-agba saga ka ha bịa gbaba saga. Saga ikpo ochi na asa nwa nkịta ọpụta ọkpọ gị metụ tụtụ. Men that are busy. Indeed, very busy. Kagin hire. They don't have time. They don't have time for you guys. When we have time, it's not like you watch it. I don't talk about these guys. I don't even follow them. I don't watch them anymore. Because I knew that is why today I posted that IPOB media, we are how strategic fighters. The DOS, one of the lucky. Where can you what the carcon of your child? I keep on saying it looks like your hands are clean. Because you guys have the finest. You guys have the media. Oh no, what the media, IPOB media, all standing for you guys. When you talk about the writers, IPOB writers, you have them on your court. This guy Anna make a gift. That guy is a blessing to this movement. I'm a come on, I had them meet to mad. Man, only mother boy, only mother guy, anybody that knows them make a gift. Tell him that I said that he's a valuable asset in IPOB. And you will mad that place. We have a talent in that guy. I know why I'm saying this. There are things he does, which is no other person does those things. They are good. Family writers, which I know he's the one managing. These guys are into what we are doing. Since all this while, they have been standing to write for this movement. I appreciate them. I appreciate other writers, many of them. I appreciate broadcasters. I can see one of them, my sweetheart, Urobo Biafra TV, my darling, Omote Biafra. Don't you see the way Omote speaks? The way she analyzes? She speaks pidgin English, but follow her in her analysis. You see the way she pieces things. Oh, this Onyama analysis. She's using broken, but follow what she's analyzing for you. At the end, you will gather a lot she has spoken. Under our media. I'm not charlatans. Hey, Achalugo. Omoto should show me the law. That's the only thing she could do. In Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's court case, the only analysis she can ever do. Show me the law. Hey, my God, the way Ndabolo speaks. So now, what if Fachi? DOS. Your lamps are high. God is with you. I said it yesterday. You guys has gone through a lot. You guys have suffered many things. But in the midst of all those, you are not broken. You are not destroyed. And because of that, God has raised men and women to stand for you, to speak for you. We are standing tall for you. And we will keep on to defend you. We will keep on to defend this Biafra struggle. Whatever thing it will take. Mando to anya mebu brokers. I have become one of the broadcasters. Rather, you can say na my own brokers, but I have become one of them. I'm now a obele broadcaster. And I will keep on to talk. I will keep on to talk. So, Jideni Kunuji, we appreciate you all. We have, so many talents. We have Chick Austin. The international politics here grow. A lot. You know? Mwe mande radical. Ndi na akumado akpa. Okija. So, anyị ebu burumpo. You know? This is what family is all about. You can't have a gentleman in a family. Otherwise, that family suffers. There should be hard bloods, ndi shike, radicals. And we have all that in the family. We have the intellectuals. We have good broadcasters. We talk about these are brother no back home, Madabuchi. The biggest officer. He will always tell you that he didn't go to university, but I haven't seen anybody that goes to university that is that articulates more than him. We have the best. We have the refinest. I am so glad. I am so glad. That is why I go that they should go and remain where they are. We stand tall for the leadership. Said he will cripple them. I don't know which way he's going to cripple. He can write or he can even fight. Somebody, even me as a woman, can even get away and on is saying that he's going to cripple it. As a child, they'll be talking anything they like. You know? So, let me see if this broke. Oh, it's still a lot. Okay, let's continue.
Biafra,
let's continue.
There is a creed written in the archives of our ancestors that says, Ojo for Job.
That is whom you guys are.
Most of you have heard of this very creed. It is all out there. And these are how we're made up of. Let me, by way of encouragement, call upon Biafrans across the board, whether aggrieved, whether disappointed, whether somehow rethinking, to draw back your mind to the core focus. Some people are going about deceiving others, telling them, discouraging them, and telling them, oh, there's nothing there. You have to understand that something very precious as Biafra must always face such challenges. Dilemma will come. There might be tug of war. There might be ups and downs. There might be tsunami. There might be earthquake. But one thing is for sure. Because this very movement was called from heaven and ordained in heaven, we shall always survive every challenges out there. It will take the inner potentials that we possess, the strength that we have, our resilience that we also have to overcome all of these challenges, and believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and believe in your comrade. Have everybody's back and let's work together. Let us make sure that all hands are on deck. For one offense or the other, let's learn to forgive where possible, and let's always have our mind and our mindset on the focus. The focus is Biafra. and what we can do for Biafra to come, especially as fast as possible. As we speak, our land is under siege, and enemies are not letting go.
It's one thing drawing two-dimensionally,
which
is great. That is creative. My process is just everything, all digital on a computer. One person, me, doing the vision, sketching it on a tablet, and then immediately putting it into 3D.
For the zoo authority to leave Boko Haram, and I thought indeed that Buhari was the only person that would have done what he did. And that is to say, all Boko Haram, all terrorists are good citizens, provided they repent, they should be somehow reabsorbed into society. But surprisingly, even the Buhari, what do you call him, Tinubu administration, is also trading that, just running the same track. I saw the army general recently saying the same thing, quoting the same thing verbatim, upon all the criticisms and upon all the dismay and outpour of disappointments of the public from the past commentary. This very administration of the zoo is repeating the same comment. Somehow, the marauding Fulani herdsmen killing people, maiming and destroying lives and property, somehow they might change tomorrow to become good people. Last time we heard they can become president. But this time around, I think it's also the same thing, the same vein. They are applauding them, at the same time, they are telling the United States of America that they are fighting terrorism. The indigenous people of Biafra have nothing close and nothing to do with terrorism. We do abhor terrorism to the core. For the fact that we do find ourselves and we find ourselves under the shackles of the enemy in bondage, that alone is terror. That alone is terror. We are trying to fight the terrorism and get ourselves free out of the terrorism itself. We must do this all together. We must also know where our enemies are going to. Always bear in mind that no matter who is sitting in Aso Rock, the eyes they have for Fulani and terrorists in the north is that of sweethearts. And the eyes they have for us because we're asking for freedom, just only freedom. We have become the worst enemies that they can ever experience, and therefore all they think about us is how to obliterate us from the face of the earth, and that we say shall not happen. It shall not happen because we cannot leave this very battle for the future generations to take up. We must carry on this battle. We must fight it on. We must soldier on. We must all stand tall and fight this battle together. And of course, we have very, very few announcements to make at this juncture. The very broadcast is not meant to be too long, but to just briefly address Biafrans and to tell you that this very leadership, the DUS headed by Mazi, one of our finest, so many of you don't know that Mazi owe to his personality and owe to his impeccable character. A man of a good example that this DOS has been able to pilot the affairs of this very struggle very, very solidly well and with so many successes. Some of them we are not at liberty to divulge on air. Some of them many of you already know. But I must tell you that this leadership is making sure that everything done is done with surgical precision. Mazi is the type that whatever decision that is made is taken to the platform of the US for a discussion, for the best idea, for the superior argument to come up for an extraction and for the final decision making. And
okay, now, the other day I talked about this decision making. Deputy HOD is even telling us the character of the person leading the DOS, which is Mazi Kadebe Doziem. Mazi Doziem is not the arrogant type. He's not the type you cannot approach. He is the type, he's a humble guy. A guy, according to Deputy, that whatever decision they take, Mazi Doziem will always bring it to the table for discussion. Because this is a Biafra struggle. This is, it's not like an ordinary group where rash decisions can be taken. Because whatever decision you take has a capability to take life. It has a capability to spare life. It has a capability to jeopardize. It has a capacity to protect. It has a capacity to destroy. Therefore, whatever decision they arrive on is a decision the House deliberate on, debate on, and the best is stick on. This is the best government you can ever find. In UK here, that is the kind of government they run, parliamentary. It's some of the decisions, they always debate about it. And the finest, the best decision will be executed. With this kind of government or leadership, running into mistakes are rare. Because 1, 2 heads, 3 heads, 2 heads are better than 1. 3 heads are better than 2. 4 heads are better than 3 heads. So you would imagine how many heads that are coming to sit around the table to discuss about an issue. Of course, each person will examine the pros and the cons. Check the risks involved. Check the benefits, the disadvantages and the advantages before they arrive to a conclusion. This is the best kind of leadership. That's why they hardly run into mistake. Such leadership, at times, reaching out to a decision do take time. But whichever finally they got to is always the best and is the most preferable. We better have it late and the best than having it early and the worst. So, it's a good leadership. It's a good leadership. A good way of taking decisions. Oh no, it had it been not this way that decisions of IPOB had been. Makachuku, Ndo Tiazura and Yoshi will not sell our money. Madam Oibo will not carry our money and run away. Nden Nayanya will not carry our money. Kanu Tonyo Shemri Honeme will not depend on our money. Mandina Manya Hapu Sarari, na Manya Kasaka Negani. They would, all these things would have been prevented. Most of unnecessary risk in Biafra land would have been cut down. It would have been cut down.
Process has helped us a lot in making sure that we present the finest we have in terms of the decision making to whatever quarter we need to make it available and that has helped us to make a lot of successes. That is the approach of institution, the approach of structure.
Do you hear it? This is the approach of institution. This is the way institution runs. Institution looks holistically into all corners, deliberate, and before finally get to a conclusion, and not what somebody somewhere will just stand up and pronounce. That pronouncement can take lives. It can send people to prison. So we want the best. We want the best.
Respected structural, design and structural positions. That is very, very important, because we also say economic. Economic is so important because no one person can do it alone. Anybody who tells you that is lying to you. No one person can do it alone. Never. And therefore, Biafrans, especially in Biafra land, this is to thank you so much for your resilience, for making yourselves available, for participating wherever necessary, and for standing the ground for the global family. Because Biafra land is not the global platform. Biafra land is Biafra land. So those of you who are holding the ground, you are very, very special in our hearts. As we fight this fight, wherever necessary in the global quarters, we thank you for holding the ground. We thank you for making sure that the successes we're making and the efforts we're making are, of course, yielding fruits. I must also...
Let me say it, in case if anybody has anything to contribute towards this program of yesterday. If you have any contribution, anything you want to say or add, or anything you want to chip out to the leadership, you can call, if I don't know, I didn't put my name, but if you have my number, you can call and make your contribution before I round up the program.
Say that it's very, very important that you watch your backs. Those of you who are working together, those of you in the various families in Biafra land, please, it's very important that you watch your back. Always be very, very kind to one another. This is very, very important in order to have ourselves protected at all time and at all places. And of course, to all the continent reps and the national coordinators across the globe, please be informed that the leadership training of IPOB shall very soon kickstart in earnest, and we're looking at the month of April.
Training.
We're starting with our
leadership
family, our
training.
great IPOB family in West Africa flank, and of course in parallel to Biafra land leadership. We are going to have this leadership training revolved around the globe, and that every family around the globe will have a classroom. We'll have a classroom to experience some of this leadership training. Very, very important. So, in due course, all those involved in the leadership training will be briefed by their continental reps. Secondly or thirdly, I want to remind IPOB principal servants that we must continue to be disciplined and follow the tune of command and control at all times, as this helps not only in preventing unnecessary volatility, but by extension, of course, helps in preserving lives and properties. Thirdly or fourthly, the agricultural season is still ongoing. We have March heading to April. So we call on our able-bodied men and women in our land of Biafra and across the board to please heavily embark on agricultural practices, cultivating not only tubers, but various types of vegetables and fruits as source of vitamins because of, the cost of living of today. Sometimes when you help yourself with the right diet, you might not need to go to the doctor. The land of Biafra, as we know, notably, is very, very fertile, and don't let anyone tell you that somehow certain crops won't grow. Apart from few types of sensitive crops, most crops do well in Biafra land. Please, you are encouraged to embark upon agricultural practices as much a scale as you can. Very, very, very key. I can't close this very broadcast without thanking most especially the head of the Directorate of State for the good job he's doing. I want to thank all the continental reps for their efforts. They're working around the clock. The national coordinators from Canada, United States of America, headed by Mazi, good job. South America, the Australia and Oceania, the almighty Europe, the hub of this very, very struggle, the entire Africa, and of course, most especially Biafra land. To the real head of departments currently recognized, the Welfare Department of Indigenous People of Biafra, the Medical Department of Indigenous People of Biafra, the Agricultural Department of the Indigenous People of Biafra, the legal and, of course, mobilizing officers at large. You are all appreciated. Very, very important. Biafrans, I am about to call it a day. It was not designed to be a very long broadcast, but very, 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 very much more. I must tell you that I shall be back in due course. But let me recite that as Laban said in Genesis 31 verse 49, may Adonai Chukwukabiab watch between me and thee when we are absent one from another. He said, may he bless all of you and all of us together, good health, in good form, and best of fitness. Mazi, I think I have come to the end of this very broadcast. Like promised, supposed to be a very short one. Can you hear me? Yes, Mazi, I am done, and I think I can't tell Biafrans when next I'll be back again, but within the neighborhood of 2 weeks to a month ahead, 2 weeks probably, latest, I will be back again. I have decided not to dabble into so many things. Are we having some issues to be resolved? Of course, yes. I just want everybody to exercise patience, that this very leadership is going to make sure that what is need to be done will be done. That there's no cause for alarm, even if there is an alarm. If there is an alarm can be put off. And when it is put off, then the problems are fixed. some of these problems are very problematic, as it is. Very, very, complex, I would say. But nevertheless, this very leadership is making sure that everything is in place and everything is going to work accordingly. I know a lot of complaints, and I know a lot of anxieties out there. But like I said, I won't use this platform to go into most of these things. But just like Mazi Ruru's broadcast, I just want to let Biafrans know that broadcast was presented indeed on behalf of Biafrans and the leadership as well.
So this is another place I was waiting to talk about. Yeah, you can hear what he said. Is the deputy HOD, Mazi Nzurumike, speaking here. You know, Mazi Nworu made a broadcast last Saturday, the other Saturday. So I heard some from the camp of the enemies saying is Mazi Nworu sending himself, that he is on his own, that the DOS, HOD, and the rest of the DOS are not in support of what Mazi Nworu is doing or in support of his broadcast. You can hear the deputy HOD telling you that everything Mazi Nworu said in that broadcast represents everything they have said, or everything they know, everything they have. So anybody that comes out, because from this broadcast, Mazi Nzurumike has presented to Biafrans their way of operation. They don't work individually. They work as a team. They decide on things and conclude on things. Nobody sends him or herself. Whoever that comes out to speak is speaking on behalf of the DOS leadership. He has confirmed it. I hope those camps of the enemies, they had this. Because no Nworu ka ha target. Hanchanine, because all Nworu ka agwalo ha. Chase him, bring him down, knock him down, destroy him. All their target is on Nworu. Akanine ha na was mainly on Nworu. So, Mazi Nzurumike, the deputy HOD, has specified Nworu is working on behalf of the DOS leadership. Everything he says in that broadcast last Saturday represents the opinion, the thoughts, the belief of the DOS leadership. Because when they target you, they want to bring you out and destroy you. That's the way they operate. That is why they keep on presenting to you, no, we are not attacking the DOS. DOS are a group of people. There is Nworu. Now Nworu is part of the team. You can't even destroy him. The same way you guys cannot destroy DOS is the same way you guys can never destroy Nworu. Who are you guys? None of these guys are even IPOB members to start with. These guys are not members. Tell me any of them that is a member. Because when you want to tell me you're a member of IPOB, you have to tell me which unit are you? Who is your unit coordinator? Who is your zonal coordinator? These guys, all of them, they are not members. Infiltrators. They infiltrate into what we are doing. And the same thing. Second rising of Ekbenima. People that don't have stake to what we are doing. People that don't belong to the family. Now, London on a family, aka. I will deal with you. Patrick Ikem says, our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu knows Chinasa's capacity. Yes. That is why their eyes on him. He's the target. He watch all of them now. Oh, no, ka ha kpono ụmụ na-agba akwụna ndị enwehodi. Why would because these guys are not under man. They're not under any man. Oye ke ha necha dị mkpa mmadụ anya na akpali ya na agwa ya okwu anyhow. What lives? Ndị nwere parental upbringing. Ndị azuras. Ọ bụrụ school ibe ha na-eje ka ha jemu. Nke na-ekwu okwu ịmanụ ị na-enye typical agboro. In her, or even in him. A typical agboro jenga. That's whom they are. How come they nwere ife ha pasita? E nwere onye nke ma Canada, keda ahụ ya Njideka. Ọ na-ekwu okwu kịta ị na-ene ya anya n'ihu because I'm into medical. When I see onye nwe mental, I know. No matter how good you are, nne ha anaghị anya n'ihu observe oge for some time. Amago m ihe na-aya gị. When you look at that one talking, ị na-ene ya anya ọ na-eme ọnụ ka nwa ehu. Ihe ahụ a sign of mental problem. Onwe dementia, untreated dementia. She has refused to take her dementia medication. All of them, because this is the man. They believe, and once you bring him down, then I call a gag. Since the Habawayo Kirikiri, have they ever scratched him? They haven't. Patrick says again, they can't break into the DOS ranks. The DOS is very tight. Yeah, they can't. They can't. So, here I'll be bringing this broadcast to, unless if anybody has anything to contribute. Let me see. Yeah, but I think that's it. It's not every day we receive a call. The message yesterday is so clear. It's so simple. We have leaders. We have directors. We are not left. Like I saw one of the barristers, Nnemeka Ejiofor. He posted something this evening. This is how these guys incite what they don't know. These are the guys that don't know the pattern and the structure of IPOB. I think what he said is when the sheep or when the shepherd is strike, the sheep will scatter. I know why he's saying it. He felt, oh, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the shepherd is down. Therefore, the sheep are scattering. Which sheep is he referring to? IPOB family, as far as I know, are together. We are one. We have not scattered. We are one entity. The people Nnamdi Ejiofor is referring as IPOB members are not IPOB members. Because I know he is referring to all these their millipedes that are talking rubbish. These guys are not IPOB members. So, Nnamdi Ejiofor, you cannot tell us that the sheep are being scattered. The sheep are together. The sheep have shepherd. I mean, with a shepherd. That is why I put my title. IPOB, we are not left without leaders. We have leaders. Nka was the leader. Because when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was there, we will always say we have leader, we have leader, we have leader. Now we have leaders. You know what it means to have leaders? Leaders ngabasi. Leaders with capacities. Intellectual leaders. Leaders that are temperament. Impeccable leaders. That is the description of Mazi Nnamdi. A very good man. We have leaders. from here, I'll be bringing this to an end. I see Makifi Senwa Dogichuku. Abiama bless you. Thank you, Mekasife. Abiama bless you too. Peter Okoro says China Sanworu is DOS. And DOS is him. Nothing but that. Deputy HOD has told Umumpam send a message. Deal with it, guys. Deal with it. The camp of the enemy. Chinasa is just a vessel sent to speak. And he has spoken the minds of the leadership. He did not speak his own mind. Let's finish playing it.
It wasn't just Chinasa's own opinion. It is the opinion of all of us. And by the way, he's one of us.
Ooh!
You have to understand that.
Hey! Nah, Ikuchanoku. You don't finish talk. You go have assignment. I'm sure that they're going to work on this. Hey, Umaka on a long fight. Those guys are on a long fight. They should cut it out. Not a henweruche. They should cut this place and deal with it. It's an assignment to them. China Sanworu is one of us. He has spoken the mind of us. He's not alone. Listen more.
He has our security department and none other.
Let's continue this one on. Can you opinion on? His Mazi Zurumike said, China Sanworu led our security department. I mean, head. He hands our security. These criminals, those who make them. You know, at the time they were rumoring that Mazi Zurumike is no more the COAS, is no more in charge of the security. But the senior man here, Mazi Zurumike, is confirming and telling you, Mazi China Sanworu heads our security department. And no other do. How the hell, boy? Onwe assistant. Onwe deputy. No nyawawo the head. Hey! Assignment given to Mwek Benuma. Nege kwenti more.
And so far so good. He's doing a very marvelous job.
Hey! So far so good. He's doing a marvelous. Because can I hire? Also, this one will suffocate him. Many a times, do you know the game they are playing? They will keep on separating Mazi Zurumike from the rest of the DOS. Many a times, they will tell people now, Nguru and the rest of these DOS members are not in good terms. You have had it. He's doing a marvelous job. He is part of us. Anytime Nguru comes to speak, he's speaking on behalf of the DOS. He is one of us. He's doing a marvelous job. Hey, what else? What else do they want to hear? Let them carry on. Let them carry on. Okay, Okafor.
We must continue. We must continue.
Of course.
Mazi,
of course. That's the end of it. We must continue. So, this is beautiful. And because Mazi Zurumike, you guys have to be coming often to speak to us. Because we are left with good leaders. Your this thing yesterday encouraged people. You know, so if you follow that thing, so many people keyed in to that program. And at the end of that program, so many people circulated. You know, that's why I commended this guy, Emeka Gift. That guy is a valuable asset to IPOB. I think name and Enwe app, different app they are now using to a kind of write down transcribe audio into written, into text. I think he has that app, and he did it so beautiful. All these brokers, he transcribed it into a write-up. And not only that, he transcribed it as well as an audio. He made it as an audio, and he made it as a write-up. So I commend him. I commend his team of family writers. That's why I said we, IPOB, we have the finest. DOS, God is with you. And that is why you have all these refined people standing with you, standing for you. Despite the accusation, they told us, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not in good time, he's not happy. But we have seen why he's not happy. And we love you guys for that. Because it is in our own interest, in the collective interest of IPOB members, interests of Biafrans, and not in the pocket interest of the Kanus. And here I bring this broadcast to an end. And I thank each and every one of you. God's power, Machineke, total freedom, Pant Brown, Dennis, God's saint, God's power, Machineke, a lot of you. Patrick Ike, my own very good friend. And from here I draw the curtains and I say, good night, Coordinate.